I brought this up a dozen times, so I don't mind repeating myself. The Big 12, in my opinion, is the best conference in college football. Not because of on-field play or the level of talent that goes to the NFL draft, but rather, if you're a sicko like me that just loves chaos and madness, that's where it resides. The brand new version of the Big 12 that is set to take the stage in 2024. And with Texas and Oklahoma leaving for the SEC, someone has got to step up as the new flagship. One of those programs, Kansas State. They absolutely are going to be a contender so long as Chris Kleiman is running the show in Manhattan. And he's building for the future because he just had in a premier running back in Dylan Edwards out of Colorado. What does Edwards bring to the offense? More importantly, why am I so hyped for the Wildcats going into 2024? Let's go ahead and discuss. But if you're new here, welcome on into the channel. I'm Cole Thompson. Make sure that you like and comment down below. Give the video a thumbs up. Give me your thoughts. What do you think of Edwards going to the Little Apple to be a little piece of that offense going into 2024? Make sure you tell your friends, your family, your mortal enemies, best of bros, college football aficionados, Big 12 faithful, and Kansas State fans everywhere, because we're not trying to become the #1 YouTube show talking about college football, but we are trying to become the #1 college football community on YouTube. Go ahead and follow me on social media, wherever you got social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Rate, review, like, subscribe. Make sure that also you're following me. And if you want to have a question read live on air, make sure you slide in the DMs at Cole Thompson, writing@gmail.com, or at Mr. Cole Thompson on Twitter. Kansas State landing Colorado's Dylan Edwards is just awesome. In every way, shape, and form, I love this fit because, number one, you're getting a guy that is just fitting the mold of what we know about Kansas State running backs, which is kind of funny because we've seen this story play out a million times. But also, you know that he can be a difference maker from the second he arrives on campus. Last year, goes to Colorado, snubs Notre Dame at the last second, reunites with Deion Sanders. And the first game against TCU, I thought was his coming out party. You remember how good he looked. 4 touchdowns overall on the season. Kind of dropped off a little bit, 321 rushing yards, but he was a really good receiver. 299 yards, 8.3 yards per play, 36 catches, 4 touchdowns, and he split carries. He wasn't just the focal point of this offense. He was one of a multitude of players that were able to get to that 4-8 record. And so now he enters the portal after spring. He wants a fresh start. He didn't like what was going on in Colorado. That's more power to him. So be it. But now he goes back home. He's from Kansas. He has a relationship with Kansas people. He understands the Sunflower State. He has a good relationship with his new quarterback in Avery Johnson. And now you're also adding him into an offense that already features DJ Giddings, who last year rushed for over 1,000 yards. And you can have Edwards be a difference maker in a multitude of ways. Third downs, simply scat back formations, quick little pitches, swing routes, actual passes out of the backfield, vertical threats down the seams for 20-yard gains. That's where you can utilize him best. So it just is a really interesting fit. And the best part is, you still got 3 more years of eligibility. So Edwards is a part of the long-term plan. I think when you look at Kansas State, this is a team that absolutely can be the face of the Big 12 for a long time because of who's running the show. And what's so baffling to me, I love Lance Leipold. I think that he is a phenomenal coach. What he's done from his time at Wisconsin, Whitewater, all the way to fixing what is going on in Lawrence, there's a reason why they're backing up the Brinks for him. But don't kid yourself for 1 second. Kansas State has a top 15 coach in college football in Chris Kleiman, and he has been one of the best in the industry since he was the defensive coordinator at North Dakota State. He won 4 national championships. He was able to go ahead and keep that momentum going after Bill Snyder retired, and immediately the vibes were good in Manhattan. It felt like Little Apple was actually more like the Big Apple because it was bustling and things were moving in the right sense. Well, now you're adding in premier players, and this is a contingency plan 3 to 4 years down the line. You know who did this a lot? The programs that were doing their best every single year in other conferences. Clemson was looking 2-3 years down the line. They didn't care about having a quarterback sit for a season because they knew, okay, Kelly Bryant can get the job done. Trevor Lawrence can take us to a national championship. The leash is short, but we're okay with that. You look at Alabama. They always had that next running back in line, whether it was Kenyon Drake to Derrick Henry to Najee Harris to Brian Robinson. The list just goes on and on. Georgia's doing it right now when it comes to defensive linemen. You look at the Big Ten, Ohio State. Maybe it's not quarterback, but it's wide receiver. Every year you have that next guy in line. So they're always planning 2 steps ahead. And that's what Kleiman's doing right now. He knew that he could have ran it back with Will Howard if he wanted to, but he also felt comfortable with Avery Johnson. And that's why he put a game plan in motion to where Johnson got reps last year just in case Howard left, just in case Howard transferred. Whatever the case is, we weren't going into a brand new season without mental reps. Kind of the same thing. DJ Giddens, that's your number 1 running back right now. You know he's not going anywhere. But a year from now, when he does go pro, when he does leave the school, when potentially he is gone, well, now you can turn to a Dylan Edwards who's going to have experience. He's going to be fine. He's going to be able to carry the tote. He's going to have the reps underneath him. And he's already played in a system where he's had to be the backup or a secondary player. Now he's the leading man. And he already has a good relationship with the quarterback in number 5, Avery Johnson. So when I look at Kansas State going into this year, this is going to be a really intriguing team. Because if I love their defense, I know they lost Colin Klein to Texas A&M, but I still love that they keep the same attentiveness when it comes to the offensive personnel. Not much is changing other than just the play caller. The play designs are still going to be the same or very reminiscent to what was working in Manhattan for years. Their schedule, it has its lulls, but still it has its moments. UT Martin, Tulane, Arizona. That is a tough stretch. Arizona, though, is not a conference game this year. So it doesn't benefit you from losing and it doesn't hurt you from winning. Or strike that, reverse it, Willy Wonka style. BYU, Oklahoma State, Colorado, West Virginia, all close games. Then you get to that October 26th matchup against Kansas, against the Jayhawks. That's probably not going to be the matchup we see in Arlington, but it may be a matchup that decides what is going to be one of these two from Arlington. Who is going to be going to Arlington? And so now you feel good about your running back room. You feel good about your wide receiver room. You add in some talent. You added in a few names this offseason. And now you feel better about your defense. And you feel good about your quarterback room. Basically, you feel content because there's no question marks going into this offseason when it surrounds Kansas State. I think Kansas State honestly has a top 3 coach in the conference. I believe they are going to have a schedule that bodes well in their favor so long as Avery Johnson continues to pick up the sticks. I believe they have a very good contingency plan well past 2024. And so the reason I talk so highly about a school like Kansas State is because of when you get the right leader in the locker room who knows how to build this roster, you're always going to have a shot. And now with the Big 12 losing 2 schools that everyone always picks every single offseason to go far, this could be the area where instead Oklahoma State used to be that school that was, oh yeah, they're sitting right there at number 3. Maybe it's Kansas State now. And maybe Kansas State's going to start garnering a lot more interest when it comes to making the college football playoff. I think Dylan Edwards, number 3, might be one of 3 reasons why you are actually in Arlington. Not for the first time since 2003, but definitely for the first time where playoff hopes are on the line. And yes, I do believe that Kansas State can make it to the CFP in 2024. Make sure you like and comment down below. What's your thoughts on Dylan Edwards joining Avery Johnson, joining DJ Giddens, and this entire Wildcat offense for 2024? Make sure that you like and hit subscribe. Make sure that also you're following me on social media at Mr. Cole Thompson, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you see fit. And make sure that you're telling your friends, family, mortal enemies, best of bros about this channel. College football aficionados everywhere, because we're not on the race to become the number 1 YouTube show talking about our favorite sport, but we are on the race to become the number 1 community talking college football every single day on YouTube. I'm Cole Thompson. Until next time, folks. Later.